Hi folks, today I want to talk about what the test management systems are and how to use them, or how they're being used in QA processes for QA activities. So sometimes they called test management systems, sometimes test management tools, sometimes test management platforms, or basically all of this means the same. So let's take a look at the Wikipedia definition first. So test management tools are used to store information on how testing is to be done, plan testing activities, and report the status of quality assurance activities. Tools have different approaches, different set of features. So basically all of them works according to the same principles. They serve the same purpose, but yeah, from system to systems there are a bunch of different of them. Set of features might be different, but the general goals and purposes are always the same. Generally they're used to maintain and plan manual testing, run or gather execution data. Test management tools streamlining the testing process, tracking of defects and tasks. So basically all of those test management systems are used to store your test cases. You're supposed to write your test cases in those systems, organize your tests, a bunch of your tests, different tests by different areas, organize them into test sets, then create test execution when you need to execute them, and mark when you will be marking all the tests as passed or failed. Basically the system will be storing results of each and every execution of each and every test. So for example, if some functionality got broken in a month, you can go back, check historical data, and said with certainty that, for example, this particular test was passing without any problems 2 weeks ago, but now it's failing. So basically it means that something has happened during the past 2 weeks, or the functionality got broken during the past 2 weeks deployments, something like that. So this is the general purpose of all of those test management systems. Let's take a look at quick examples. I will be showing you TestRail because it has free demo account, but again everything that I'm saying is related to all other test management systems as well. You can manage tests in Jira using X-Ray Test plugin. There are HP Quality Center test management platform, Qtest, ALM, and so on and so on and so on. So there are really a bunch of them. So let's say and also one of the goals is just to provide statistics about the current progress, like you will have some statistics or reporting analytics that will be provided by those systems, like how many passed, some how many tests are failed, and so on. So it also will give you a hand of help to provide testing status as the actual picture. So let's say that your task and in this video I'm then going to cover how to write test cases themselves, how to not miss anything. It's not the purpose of this video, it's just to get you familiar with test management systems. So let's say that you need to that you have a task to test LinkedIn login form. Let's assume that you work on in LinkedIn as a company, and your first task is to create regression test set or create tests for login form, login page. So what you would do first? Let me open it here. You would just take a sheet of paper and a pen, or in my case it's just a simple text editor online, and you would have to think through the list of test cases that you are going to do. So again, I'm not going to cover it completely, just to give you the idea of number of test cases. So first one will be, and usually it's better to organize tests in terms of priority. For example, here the first the most priority test will be to sign in with correct email and correct password to check that functionality works. All other test cases like invalid password or empty fields will have less priority because they are not the main user flow. So let's say the first, so first of all, think about the list of test cases, high level list of test cases, meaning just, first of all, just write down only the names without detailed steps, the names of your future tests that you're going to perform. So first one, correct username and password. Let's say registered the system. So this will be a first test. Second one, second one, let's say correct username but incorrect password. Third one, vice versa. Correct password but incorrect username. Let me replace it email, because that's the terminology they're using, email or phone. Email. The second one probably even will be, it would be right to say and to test sign in with using email and sign in, then sign in using phone. So those will be two main. And I'm not going to consider account creation in this case, as it's a separate set of features, sign up. So we are talking about only sign in. And briefly, so correct password and correct email. Let's say forgot password. Password is hidden. Show password. So this one means that when you will be entering password, by default it should be masked or hidden, and this particular test will be for click on this show option. It should start showing this whatever you entered. Password is hidden by default. password, forgot password, sign in with Google account. So what else do you see? So basically you are just looking what you see on the page and covering everything. In this case we see these two fields, this option, this link, forgot password, sign in button. Also we see continue with Google, new to LinkedIn, journal. So let's start with this 7 for the sake of this video. So after you have a high level list of test scenarios, you can go to test management system that the company is using and start creating test cases in there. Let me move it a little bit. So test cases should be somewhere, it should be some option like test cases, so test sets. So here there are test cases, add section. So section, it will be the name of your feature. In our case it's sign in, and it will appear here. So that's the name of our test set. Now let's start adding test cases. And see where it goes to. Let's take this one. Title, yes. Add. Let's see where it went. Yeah, it shows under sign in. Okay. Oh, you can also edit from here quickly as a quick option. So let's add everything. Second one. Third one. Fourth one. And this is, by the way, the actual co-engineer job. So in most cases, that's the main, will be your main responsibility to write test cases, to think that, to check that, to execute them, to analyze if you haven't missed any use cases or test cases. So that's the core responsibility. That's why I want to show you that you have some practical understanding how does it look like on real job, in real life. Six. And one more. Okay, so we have 7 tests inside the sign-in test set or sign-in feature. So I'm using empty project and real job on real company. You will have already existing bunch of them, but I don't want you to lose your attention to a bunch of different folders. So we will have only one, assuming that we are creating everything from scratch. So after you created a high-level list of test cases, the second part will be go and describe everything in details. You should add detailed steps into each and every test. So whoever will be performing or executing those tests can clearly follow the steps and perform the test itself, because it's not the fact. Actually, it might be not you who will be executing those tests, regardless if you created them or not. So as a team, a bunch of QA engineers creating a bunch of test cases, but then those test cases might be assigned to different people and so on. That's why it's important to have clear and understandable steps inside each and every test scenario that you're creating. So we are not going to add any preconditions here. Steps. So how much details you should put into describing your test cases. I'm going to add only to this first one, just to give you an idea. So steps. First one will be open in a browser. Second, enter already registered email in the email field, input, let's say, then enter corresponding password in the password field, corresponding password, then click on, how does it called correctly, sign in button, click on sign in button, and expected result after all of these actions will be that user is successfully signed in, user do not see sign in page anymore, user can see and navigate top level menu options like people, jobs, etc. Doesn't see sign in page, so something like that. We are going to save it. So everything should be really put in details in here. So it should have straightforward steps and straightforward expected results. Even here, even though I used user is successfully signed in, basically the word successfully is really abstract. That's why in reality doesn't mean anything. It doesn't give the test executor enough information what to expect. So that's why I did this clarification that user doesn't see any sign-in page anymore, can see navigate top level menu options. Now, after you have your test cases and you described or added detailed steps into each of them, and you can do this in the test preparation phase while this feature is still being developed. In development, you can think through test cases and so on. At some point, they're going to finish with implementation and deploy it to test environment for you to test in, and then you will be given with command or permission, or somebody will let you know that now it's time to execute those tests. And for this, you will go to test runs or test executions, whatever they will be called in the system you will be using. Let's say a test run. round 1, let's say. References, milestones, I assign 2. We're not going to use this one. Oh, let's actually use this one. Include all test cases. Select specific. Let's select specific. Change selection. Here, if you will have a bunch of folders, you will select only those that you are going to execute. In our case, it's only sending tests. Okay. Included. I forgot to put a tick. Yes, add test run. So test run is the same as test execution. After you prepare test cases, you will need to execute them, meaning that you will have to provide correct status for each of them, like passed or failed. You see default status is untested. Not everything is ready for you to test and deploy to test environment. Basically, you will go and run each and every test. You can open it in a new tab. Go through tests, add result from here. But I'm going to do it on the top level. So let's say I know the steps. This one is passed. I can say assign to me. Also passed. Also passed. So this is how you show that you actually tested those features. If you performed only 3 tests today and left everything else for tomorrow, then just you will be providing updating the statuses the next day. So that's the idea. So test management systems help you to store and organize your test cases, create execution, store historic results for each and every test. That's the idea, and providing some statistics. Like for example, on this one, we can see that 3 passed, it's 43% of all tests, 0 blocked, 1 failed. For failed test cases, you can also provide comment like bug, like, I don't know, has been created or reported. So this is what all of those test management systems are used for. That's the main goal, is to create test cases, manage test cases, update test cases, execute test cases, store execution data. And yeah, that's it for this video. See you next time.